In a town that buzzed with life, nestled between low hills and glistening skylines, stood a school of exceptional reputation, Hilltop High. It was the kind of school parents dreamed of for their children. A place of academic excellence, where the walls echoed with ambition, and the classrooms pulsed with competition. It was also one of the rare institutions that welcomed students from every walk of life. Sons of CEOs shared benches with daughters of street vendors. Wealth brushed shoulders with poverty, and amidst this vibrant clash of worlds existed two students who were as different as night and day: Emily Williams and Jack Carter. Emily was a name everyone at Hilltop knew. She was the daughter of Richard Williams, a man whose wealth could buy cities and whose pride could fill them. Every morning, a glossy black limousine would pull up to the front gates, and out would step Emily, poised, polished, and picture-perfect. Her shoes gleamed without a single scuff, her pleated skirt never had a wrinkle, and her hair, always brushed into a flawless style, shimmered under the sunlight. Her mere presence turned heads. When she walked, conversations paused. When she smiled, it felt like the sun had stepped closer to the earth. Everyone wanted to be her. Girls wished to be her best friend. Boys admired her from afar, some daring to slip love notes into her locker, all of which went unread. Yet for all the admiration, Emily felt alone. Her life was wrapped in silk and gold, but beneath the glitter was a deep yearning for something real. She had everything a teenager could ask for: designer bags, diamond-studded pens, the latest phones, and summer trips to Europe. But what she lacked was authenticity. She wanted someone who saw her, not her father's money. Someone who wouldn't flatter her because of her status, but care for her soul. In another part of town, far from the marble floors and chandeliered ceilings of Emily's world, lived Jack Carter. He wore no luxury watch, carried no sleek tablet, and never entered the school grounds in a vehicle. Jack walked to school, an hour each way through winding roads and muddy shortcuts, clutching his worn-out backpack like a lifeline. His mother, Helen Carter, sold vegetables at the roadside market. She worked from dawn until the streetlights flickered to life, her hands rough with labor, her eyes tired but loving. Every coin she earned went to support Jack's education. His uniform was faded, his shoes patched more times than he could count, but he wore them with pride. Jack was known not for wealth or appearance but for brilliance. He topped every test, dominated every class discussion, and was the undisputed king of the science fair. He didn't own gadgets, but he devoured textbooks like novels. His spark wasn't dimmed by struggle, in fact his hardship fueled him. Jack lived by his mother's words. "Education is your escape, Jack. It's your wings." And so he soared higher than anyone expected. When Emily and Jack were assigned to the same class, a storm began to brew. Their personalities clashed like thunder and lightning. She with her icy confidence and high expectations, he with his unshakable confidence and sharp tongue. They were equals in intellect but rivals in temperament. They competed in everything: math contests, science expos, spelling bees, and student council elections. One week Emily's name would lead the honor roll. The next, Jack's would replace hers, bringing a smug grin to his face and fury to hers. Their debates were legendary. "You clearly misunderstood the theme," Emily said once during a school-wide debate. "Your argument was flawed from the beginning." Jack raised an eyebrow. "And yet the judges gave me the point. Maybe you just can't handle being second." Gasps echoed in the auditorium. Yet the teachers let them argue, amused by the fire they brought to every event. Despite the animosity, something unspoken stirred beneath their rivalry. Emily watched Jack sometimes when he wasn't looking. He would laugh with his friends, carefree and genuine, as if life hadn't thrown hardships his way. She didn't understand it. How could someone with so little be so full of joy? Jack, though he'd never admit it, admired her fire. She never gave up. She never relied on her father's wealth to win anything. In fact, she worked harder than most, staying late in the library, her brows furrowed in focus. He teased her endlessly, but deep down he respected her. They were like two stars circling each other in a galaxy of tension. Too proud to admit their admiration, too competitive to acknowledge the friendship blossoming in the cracks of their rivalry. Then came the rain. The clouds gathered thickly that day, and the skies opened just as school ended. Students scurried for shelter. Emily, juggling her presentation boards and project materials, struggled in the downpour. Her usual entourage had already left, and her limousine was delayed. From the classroom window, Jack saw her slipping on the wet tiles, her papers flying into puddles. He hesitated. The rivalry. The unspoken barrier. But then he sighed, grabbed an umbrella and dashed outside. Emily looked up, startled. Jack was there, holding the umbrella awkwardly over both their heads. "Need help, princess?" he asked, grinning despite the rain soaking his shoulders. She blinked, stunned, then nodded. "Thank you." Together they gathered her scattered materials, their hands brushing occasionally. They burst into laughter as a gust of wind blew her chart paper into his face. By the time the limousine arrived, they were drenched but smiling. Her driver gawked at the sight, Emily Williams laughing like a child with Jack Carter. "Thanks, Smarty," she whispered before getting in. Jack stood in the rain watching the car disappear, heart thudding. Emily leaned against the window, replaying the moment. A crack in their defenses had appeared, and neither could forget it. From then on, their relationship shifted. Behind the scenes they became unlikely allies. After school they'd sneak behind the science building to sit under the big mango tree. There, away from prying eyes, they studied, laughed, and shared parts of themselves they showed no one else. Jack teased her mercilessly. "You look ridiculous when you're thinking so hard." Emily would retort, "At least I don't look like a starving goat." Laughter echoed beneath the branches where secrets took root. Emily told him about her strict, distant father. "He cares more about his company than me." Jack listened quietly. "You have everything, but you're still lonely." She nodded. "Money doesn't fill the emptiness." They gave each other nicknames. Jack was Smarty. Emily was Princess. They finished each other's sentences and built dreams in whispers. Yet in public they kept up the act. The rivalry. The distance. Because Emily's father would never approve. And Jack feared being seen as a gold digger. But secrets have a way of spilling. One afternoon, Richard Williams happened to be in town. From his car he saw Emily standing outside the school gate, laughing with Jack. His face turned to stone. That night the house trembled with his rage. "You're a Williams. That boy is beneath you." Emily tried to speak, but his roar silenced her. "No more contact. Do you understand?" Tears streaked her cheeks. "Yes, Daddy." The next day Emily avoided Jack. When he tried to approach, she looked away. "Why were you avoiding me, Princess?" he asked. She forced a lie. "People are talking. It's best we're not seen together." His eyes darkened with hurt. "Got it." Later, she found him under the mango tree. "I'm sorry, Smarty. My dad saw us. He forbade it." Jack clenched his fists. "Because I'm poor? I don't care about that. I care about you." He softened. "All right. Our secret." Their bond, though forbidden, endured in silence. High school ended and university loomed. Richard planned Emily's future. The best university in Brad, a shining career, a rich husband. But Emily's heart wasn't in it. She couldn't imagine leaving Jack behind. Jack, meanwhile, was anxious. University was expensive. Helen Carter tried her best, but he knew she couldn't afford it. "I might stay back and work," he told Emily. "No," she said firmly. "We go together." He shook his head. Different worlds. So she made a bold decision. She'd fail her entrance exams. "I'll wait," she whispered. She left papers blank. When Richard saw her failing grades, he was furious. "Why?" "Maybe I panicked," she shrugged. He made her try again. She failed again. And again. After the third time, he stormed into her room. "Is this about that boy?" She said nothing. He grounded her, cut off her privileges. But Emily waited. Jack worked as a bricklayer, studied at night. Emily sent notes through a trusted friend. "I believe in you." Finally, Jack passed. Helen cried with joy. Emily begged her father. This time she topped the exam list. But when Richard discovered she'd chosen the same university as Jack, his fury erupted. "You won't humiliate this family." "I'm going," she said. And she did. At university they were finally free. Emily dreamed of walks under campus lights, long talks and laughter. But Jack changed. He avoided her. skipped lunches, grew distant. One evening she confronted him. Why are you pulling away? He looked down. You're rich, beautiful. I don't belong in your world. I love you, Jack. His eyes softened. I feel like I'm not enough. You're more than enough. But he stepped back. I need space. Emily's heart broke. Desperate to win him back, Emily cooked his favorite meal, jollof rice and fried plantains. At his apartment door she heard laughter. Laurie's laughter. Then Jack's voice. You're so beautiful, Laurie. I don't deserve you. Laurie giggled. You deserve someone who really loves you. Emily looked through the crack. Saw them kiss. Her heart dropped. The basket fell. Food spilled. She ran to the big mango tree and wept. Laurie had lied to Jack. Played on his insecurities. And Jack believed her. Emily shut herself away. Her parents didn't understand her pain. Eventually she vowed love is worthless. She excelled in school. But her heart was locked away. After graduation, her parents urged her to marry. Her first husband was rich and cruel. He cheated. Hit her. She divorced. More marriages followed, each ending in betrayal. She cried at night, longing for Jack. Maybe I should have fought harder. But her father forbade any talk of him. He's beneath us. Years passed. Emily, wealthy and broken, lived a hollow life. One morning, Margaret Williams collapsed. Doctors were baffled. A nurse mentioned a miracle doctor in a nearby town. Desperate they went. The receptionist called out, Dr. Jack Carter will see you. Emily froze. Jack entered calm and confident. Richard gasped. You're that boy. Jack nodded. Please, Richard begged. Save my wife. Jack looked at Emily, then at the man who once called him worthless. His face gave nothing away. Tell me about her condition, he said. Jack treated Margaret with care and skill. Under his watch her condition stabilized. Days passed. Emily would sit quietly in the corner of the hospital room, stealing glances at him, at the man who had once been her world. Late one evening after a successful round of treatment, Jack found Emily standing outside under a tree, the hospital's small courtyard strangely resembling their old mango tree. You saved her, she whispered. She's a strong woman, Jack replied, not looking at her. Silence hung between them, heavy with the years they had lost. I never stopped loving you, Jack, she said finally. Jack turned. You disappeared. You pushed me away. He nodded slowly. I was scared. I didn't feel worthy. And I was too proud to fight harder. They stood there, two people weathered by life, by choices, by pain. And yet something still flickered. I'm not the girl I was, she said. I'm not the boy I was either. But maybe, Emily whispered, we're still fire and water. Meant to clash. Meant to meet. Jack smiled faintly. Maybe this time, we don't destroy each other. And under the starlit sky, the years between them melted, leaving only what always was, love real and raw, waiting for its second chance. Years had passed since their days under the big mango tree, since rivalry turned to love, and love to heartbreak. Life had weathered them both, stripped them bare, rebuilt them stronger. Now older and wiser, Jack and Emily walked through life side by side, not as the rich girl and the poor boy, but as equals shaped by pain, perseverance, and passion. Their love was no longer the reckless fire of youth, nor the drowning sorrow of lost chances. It was quiet, steady, real. And as they stood beneath the tree in the hospital courtyard, fingers entwined, Jack whispered, I was wrong before. You were never out of my league. Emily smiled, tears glistening. And you were always my home. Sometimes love doesn't come at the right time. But when it's true, it finds its way again. And this time they chose each other. Not in secret, not in silence, but in full bloom, forever.